Hello, everyone. I'm Brandi Kruse. Welcome back to our special series, Truth Tellers, where we celebrate important truth tellers in Washington State, on the West Coast, and beyond. So the last time we did the Truth Tellers series, we featured a young woman named Annalie Wilson. And Annalie had become one of the first young women in Washington State as a high school athlete to really speak out publicly about boys in girls' sports. She lost to a biological boy at the Junior Olympic track meet in Kashmir, Washington, and she decided to use her voice to try to bring about change. So we're going to check back in with Annalie and what's been happening in her life since we featured her as a truth teller. But what's important on this subject is the more young women who speak out, I think the more young women who feel empowered to speak out. So after we told Annalie's story, another young woman named Frances Stout decided to use her voice as well. She sat out of her final basketball game of the year. She's a student at Tumwater High School in Washington State as well. She sat out because there was a biological boy playing on the other team. She's become a vocal advocate for protecting girls' sports and trying to get our state's elected leaders to do the right thing. So we're happy to celebrate Frances as a truth teller. Life got a little crazy for you after I last saw you.
Yes, definitely. We had a lot going on. We filed the OCR complaint, and we're still waiting to hear back from that. And we're looking forward to hoping for some good news coming from that.
Yeah, so the Office of Civil Rights complaint. So kind of going back to your last interview, you had just made this decision to sit out of this basketball game. We did a couple interviews. Mm-hmm. We did the interview with you.
Yes.
And then we did the interview with Andy,
yes,
the trans athlete. What'd you think of Andy?
Well, I have nothing. I never will have anything personal. I think that it is important to make it known that I'm not directly attacking anyone. That is not my goal in speaking up for girls. I do, however, have an issue with our state school superintendent, Chris Reichdahl. I think that he has failed us as students and athletes, and saying that we're lying about what is going on. He says, this is not going on for our kids, and it is. And you look around, that is why when I was 15, I had an 18-year-old in my locker that was not a girl, a male in my locker room. That is the only issue that I have with a direct person. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's failing all students, and he needs to do a better job and instead focus on making it a fair competition for girls and letting them have their own safe space to play, and also focusing on more academic things as well. I think he is not doing a good job in any of that. Yeah,
very well said. I agree with you on all of that. And there are some kind of adult sort of reactions to your interview I want to talk about. Some of them were positive. Mm-hmm. I mean, you came on, the Tumwater School Board decided to take kind of a symbolic vote, but basically say, we don't support boys and girls sports. Mm-hmm. I mean, that had to have been a direct response to what you said.
Yes, I think that I'm for sure glad that I did speak up and say something, because it is encouraging more people to touch up on the topic and realize this isn't wrong, or this isn't right, what is going on. And I think that it's a shame that it was allowed to happen in the first place, but I'm glad that it is getting more coverage that is very much needed.
Yeah. How have you, has the school obviously the school board sort of made a statement there in doing that, right? And then they got a threatening letter from Chris Reichdahl saying, you will not do anything of the sort, and you can't. But how has the school reacted to your decision to sort of take these concerns publicly?
Well, I am glad you asked, because there have been multiple people that work at the school, teachers, and that have come up to me and said, I support you, but I can't say it publicly because I'm scared. And as much as I do appreciate their support, I think that it is a shame that we live in a society where they're afraid for their jobs and everything to say they support me. And I think that also we need people to have courage and speak up, even if you are worried for your job or your popularity or reputation. You need to speak up. And if you agree with something, you're not going to get anywhere from hiding in the shadows and silently just agreeing. You need to take a stand.
Yeah, and one of the coolest things I've seen throughout all of this is when one person takes a stand, then you have other people who are suddenly willing to. And you guys sent this awesome picture of like you and a bunch of other young women outside the school. Who made the decision to do that? And I know you guys didn't want to call it a protest or a walkout, but what were you trying to show?
Well, so I put together a group of girls to come, and there were more girls that did support, but they weren't able to make it because it was a time that you could work on homework or go see a teacher for help. So some people either weren't at school or weren't able to, but the purpose for that was to say, we're not putting up with you invading into our sports, and we're not going to go do a walkout and a protest and be screaming and raging. We are standing there respectfully. We are a group of girls who are not going and causing trouble, not being disrespectful. And we are saying that we have rights. We have Title IX that we need to protect, and we deserve our place to play and not have to worry about a man coming and taking that away from us.
Yeah. Did you get in trouble at all for doing that?
We did not get in trouble. People kind of stared and watched and looked, and it is our First Amendment right to be able to express how we feel about that, and we didn't get in trouble because I did plan it during a time that class was not in session, and it was a free period. So, I'm nothing of that sort, but.
Have you had any problems with fellow classmates? Any different treatment of you?
I have had people make fun of me, which was to be expected. I mean, people can be very immature about those kind of things. But I did get I'd walk into the locker room a couple times and they would go quiet, or they'd look at me and laugh and point at me, and some people did really show support. There were people that messaged me and said, this is horrible what you're doing, and in no way are you standing up for girls. You're taking away things from them. And I know my values, and I know that I'm not going to have people push their false ideology onto me and my beliefs. And so I am strong in what I know and to be right. And so that's all that matters.
Yeah, the last time we had you on, we were talking about reacting to President Donald Trump and his executive order, and how you felt about having a president who's willing to stand up for you. The total opposite. You mentioned Chris Reykdal, Governor Bob Ferguson, Attorney General Nick Brown. Not only have they not stood up for girls in sports, they're actively saying they're going to fight the Trump administration to keep boys in girls' sports. What is it like as a young woman to have the men in charge of the state stand against you, basically?
Yeah, so I think that it is very disappointing because as men who are running the state, basically, you should stand up for the girls and the young women who every day are being impacted. I think you can't tell us, which has been told to us athletes and families, that it is lies what's going on and that it isn't having an effect on people, and this isn't happening in schools and sports, and it is. You see it every day when you go and look around. I feel that they're lying to everyone, and they know it, everyone knows it, and they can't get away with that. And I think it is a shame as a 16-year-old girl now that I have more courage than any of them do, and I know that. So
you do. I know you know that, but it's very true. I mean, I was just at a press conference with Bob Ferguson, and I can tell you, not courage isn't the word I'd use to describe him. But you reference it there, and I just want to touch on it directly, the Chris Reykdal thing. He's doing this news interview where he's basically saying that this doesn't happen. The things we say about men in girls' spaces, or boys rather, in girls' spaces in high school, like in locker rooms, he says that just isn't happening. Like it's something we're manufacturing. What was it like to just... I mean, what's happening. It literally happened to you, and to see the head of the public school system lie like that.
I was not surprised. Yeah. I know what they've been like in the past, and I know that they've not done a good job with a lot of things that I believe in, but I think it was crazy because you take one step into reality and you see that it is happening. And you can't live in this false world and hide away and say, oh, this isn't going on. And put yourself in the eyes of a high school student who is trying to get through her 4 years and play the sports that she enjoys and have a safe space to change in a locker room without having someone of the opposite sex look at her.
Yeah. So you're going into junior year?
Yes, I am.
Junior year, same school. Nothing's changed in the state. They're not following the president's executive order. No. They have said they have no plans to follow it. So you're heading into another situation where you can be confronted with these things. How are you feeling?
I'm not afraid to be confronted with it again. I know that the school will not do anything to protect me from that, as they failed to do before. But I know that it is very much a possibility that it could happen. And that people now, especially more than ever, because they've been lied to from parents and teachers and school board, everything, but from the administration, that it's okay to do that. And so I think that it needs to get put out to everyone. Grown-ups need to take a stand as well. It can't just be the kids, that it isn't okay. And I think I'm going into the school year knowing that, and I'm not afraid of whatever is going to come up my way.
And last time you said that you will not play if there's a boy. Are you standing by that?
Never.
That you have no intention to play?
No intention whatsoever. I am very concrete in that belief and value, and I value my safety more than anything, in my rights, and I'm not going to take that away from myself and from other girls, and I'm staying strong.
Yeah. People can't see it, but all your siblings are here. Is this all your siblings?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them.
There's a lot of you. And you have some older sisters. How do they feel about all of this?
Well, I am very, very lucky to have older siblings and a younger brother as well to stand by me and be very, very supportive. And I could not be any more lucky. I have got the best family I could ever ask for, and I'm incredibly beyond thankful for that. And messages from them and countless calls and texts and spending time with them in person when they're away at college, they're always there for me no matter what. And I know I can go to them and talk to them about what's going on, and know that they are there for me, and they 100% have my back.
I love that. So, it's important to have people in your corner. For young women who might be watching this, who are frustrated, maybe just haven't found their voice yet, it's been, 5 months since you decided that you were going to put yourself out there?
I believe.
Has your life been upended?
No,
Are things horrible?
I'm doing great. Okay. I'm happy with what I am waiting for the OCR complaint to come back and see how that turns out, see what is in the future. And it isn't over, so that is for sure. I don't intend to say something and just step back and watch everyone else take care of it. I think that, it's been a while, but I'm doing great. I have friends and family who I love, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I think it's the earth doesn't end when you stand up for yourself.
Exactly.
I know it can feel like it might, but it doesn't. So, Frances, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I continue to be very proud of you. Great example for young women.
Thank you.
And I hope more can find their voice. And I have a lot of faith in the Office of Civil Rights under this administration. So we will monitor that closely.
Yes, for sure. Thank you again so much for having me, and it means so much. I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Great catching up with Frances. I wish there'd been more progress made in trying to keep boys out of girls' sports. Our state leaders want nothing to do with that. So I think their hand is going to have to be forced by the Trump administration. Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. As I mentioned the last time we did Truth Tellers, we featured Annalie Wilson for her willingness to speak up for herself and other young girls against boys competing against them in athletics. And so we wanted to check in with Annalie as well and see how things have gone since she started to use her voice publicly. Annalie, welcome back to Truth Tellers.
Yes, hi.
So you were featured in our December 2024 edition of Truth Tellers.
Yes.
And I wanted to have you back because I think that interview has sparked others who have been willing to come forward and share their stories about, boys and girls sports. What has life been like for you since you started speaking out publicly about this issue?
I mean, it's been good. Nothing really has changed yet, like in the direction that we want it to, but we're still going, still fighting it.
Yeah, the last time we spoke, there was this hope that the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association was going to, vote on these amendments that would prohibit biological boys from competing against girls. And then they ended up saying, oh, we're not even going to, we're going to take a vote, but it's not going to mean anything. So that was like a 6-month period of time. What was that like for you, kind of hoping they would and then them refusing to do it?
Definitely, like at first when I heard they were going to maybe vote, I was super excited. I was like, okay, like finally change, and then like not even gonna like try. That was like a total like, oh, like that was a letdown.
Yeah. I mean, because what grade are you in now?
I'm going to be a sophomore, so 10th grade.
You're going to be a sophomore. You're still obviously very active in athletics. Do you know whether you're going to have you already kind of scoped out whether you're going to have some competition that is biological boys moving forward into your sophomore year?
Well, the guy that I originally, this whole problem started over, he isn't running anymore, so he won't be around.
Okay.
And then the other guy that I ran with against cross country, he just graduated.
Okay.
So they're both gone, but I mean, who knows if there's any other biological boys that are going to compete. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is your plan if you're confronted with that? Have you talked with your parents about, do you compete? Do you not compete?
We've talked about it. I think I would still compete. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not though. We don't really know because I want to compete. I mean, running's like my favorite thing. So I'm like, I don't really know. I mean, I guess it would just depend on if it like would happen.
Yeah.
Again.
One of the big changes since the last time we talked is the president, President Trump, has really making this a key issue. And his executive order saying boys can't compete against girls. I guess, what was that like seeing the president care so much about this issue that's impacted your life?
It was like relieving almost. It was nice to like hear someone talk about that and like actually be concerned for once, an adult too who has authority. So it was nice to hear him actually like care and want that to change because it needs to.
Yeah. Last time we spoke, you were also dealing with quite a bit of hate on the internet.
Yes.
How is the internet treating you these days?
Well, I haven't gotten any like directly towards me on like my own account because I have Instagram now. Finally convinced my mom.
So your mom let you get Instagram amidst all of this?
A little bit after, like it was a while.
After.
It took a lot of convincing, definitely. But I have my own like private account, so luckily no one has targeted me on that. But I recently was going through my speech, and I was going through the comments, and a lot of them were actually super positive, at least on YouTube. But then there were a few that were like seeing them, I was like, okay, like some of them didn't even make sense. I was like, okay, what are you talking about? But I mean, luckily they protected me. Like I've heard what people are saying, but I don't really like care that much. It's like, well, they can think that. That's their opinion, whatever.
I love that. Have you seen the other young women who've come on our show now after you to talk about this issue?
Yes, Frances is one of them. Yeah. Seeing her, really cool to see her step up.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of relate, I guess, to that feeling of, am I going to speak out about this or not?
Yeah.
But one of the things that we've talked about is when someone else does it, it makes it easier for you to do it too. And whether it's Riley Gaines and her, influencing other people to step forward. And so, I really think you and Frances, have inspired other young women. What would you say to young women who, have sort of seen some of that and watched it happen, but just haven't quite been willing to speak out yet?
I would just say that even though it's scary and it might seem like something that might be like hard to do, I think it's totally worth it to stand up for yourself and for the other girls. And once you do it, it becomes easier every time you do it. And then more people stand up, and then it will build like a community of people. It'll just help us all to stand up for what we believe.
Well, and your life didn't end. You still have friends, right? Okay, you haven't been disowned by anyone.
No. Everyone's been super supportive, my friends, and even like people at my school. Like it's been good. I mean, I know there's other people, especially like if I was in Seattle, probably wouldn't have been super supportive. But where I live, it's been great.
Yeah.
So
There still is this resistance from our state. It's always weird for me to talk with, I'm not calling you a kid. You're a teen now. You're a young lady, but about politics. Because I'm almost like, I don't want to, have them live in that stupid world yet. They're so innocent, but, you're in it. And you know that our state leaders still continue to fight for boys to compete against girls. I mean, our governor, our attorney general, the head of our public school system, 3 men who are actively advocating and trying to protect boys competing against girls. What is that like for you as a young woman to see our state leaders oppose protecting you?
It's frustrating, and it just feels like totally like what about us? Like, I get you're trying to help them, but you're ignoring a whole other like group, like all these girls. Like, okay, we just don't matter all of a sudden. It's confusing too. It's like, what is going on? What is going on? I don't know.
Have you ever thought about meeting with one of them or trying to meet with one of them?
Yeah, I have talked about like going to Olympia to like state all this and just like tell them like what's going on and they should change it. And I met with the senator of my area, Shelley Shorts. Right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that was cool. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. Nothing's happened so far, like an opportunity like that, but definitely have thought about it.
Well, I would love if they're going to be out there advocating against what you're fighting for. They represent you. It'd be nice for them to at least be willing to hear you out. I'm not so sure that will happen.
Yeah.
What would it mean to you to be part of changing things, though? I mean, you're going to graduate in a couple years, but if the next generation of young girls doesn't have to worry about this issue because in part of what you've done, what would that mean to you?
I mean, it would mean everything to me for younger girls not to have to go through this at all and just have fair competition and be able to just live normally and not have issues like this come up. That would be incredible. But I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
Do you think college athletics are in the works for you at all? Is that something you're looking at?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to be able to try to get a scholarship or at least go to school to run, maybe cross country or track, maybe both. Yeah.
So I'm not sure how the recruiting for all that works, but if you lose a few races between now and your senior year, 2 biological boys, does that hurt your chances of being recruited, or do you think recruiters see that and they think, well, okay, she lost, but it was a boy, so it's not a big deal?
I don't really know. I guess it just depends on the recruiter. I mean, maybe, but it also kind of scares me that it's like, well, she lost, so.
Like if they just see it, well, she's not the best.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could ruin an opportunity for me and other people who are working so hard. I mean, yeah, it's kind of scary to think about that.
Well, that must also factor into the decision of whether to compete or not. It's one thing to say, oh, well, I'm going to sit out and not play if you don't have higher ambitions. But if you don't run, how is a recruiter going to recruit you? Yeah,
that's the hard part with that decision. It's like if I sit out, then I'm trying to make a point, but also then I could miss out on opportunities and just missing out on doing something that I love. So definitely something that's hard to decide. But yeah.
That's really tough. I guess what is, for any young women who might be watching this, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you've had just as a young woman through this whole ordeal?
To just use your voice, stand up for what you believe. Don't be scared of all of the adults that might hate you because it doesn't matter. That's just what they're going to do. So just stand up for what you believe in and say it proudly.
I love that. Annalie, well, thank you for coming back and giving us a follow-up. Thank you for being a truth teller. And I hope that this ends for you before you graduate. I really do. So We'll be fighting with you every step of the way.
Thank you.
So we're very happy to honor Annalie and Frances as important truth tellers. And if anyone is going to make a difference on this issue, it is going to be the young women who are actually affected by it. Coming up tomorrow on our next episode of Truth Tellers, one of my favorite guests. We've had an interview with him before, but so much has happened both with him and on the subject that he is an expert on. Tom Wolfe is a recovering drug addict who basically was living a normal life down in San Francisco, California, when he got addicted to drugs, found himself living on the streets in the Tenderloin neighborhood of San Francisco, and if not for some important interventions, probably would be dead today. We are so happy to feature Tom Wolfe as a truth teller.